Let's explore gift commitments. And gift commitments is when a donor makes a verbal or a written commitment. And this is when we would be expecting some gift transactions or donations at certain intervals in the future, or just a one-time promise pledge. A commitment can also be a result of a cultivation process. So this is when we create an opportunity. It goes through the cultivation process, solicitation and whatnot, until the donor actually makes a commitment that they will be making these donations. So let's go ahead and create a new commitment, and the one field I want to look at first is the schedule type. We have two types. We have recurring and we have custom. Recurring is when we know that the donor is going to make donations at a specific interval, once a week, once a month, things like this. And custom is when there is no particular interval involved, but rather it could be at different times and different days, and probably different donation amount as well. We'll look at these in a minute after we save this record. Let's say that this is a commitment from Matt. We can do draft status first until we can set it to active, and we know that it's ready. So if the commitment or the first gift is going to happen after like 1 month from now, we could create this in a draft status until that date comes, and then we can set it to active. Let's go ahead and set it to active right away. Let's say Matt commit 01. If it's coming from an opportunity or a major gift, you can select that major gift down here. And remember, this opportunity just represents the cultivation process. It doesn't represent the gift itself. And the commitment only represents that this is the commitment, and will also have a schedule to it. It's not the gift itself. If you want to look at the gift data itself, the donation itself, that's what the gift transaction is for. We can also associate this gift commitment with a campaign, which can help us identify which commitments came from which campaigns, to know the impact of each campaign. We can set a start date, the 15th, and then an expected total amount, and then an expected end date sometime in the future, and save. After we create a gift commitment, there is almost always two things we need to do. We need to manage gift default designations. You can see it here, and then manage gift commitment schedules. These two buttons, you're going to see them here as well, the gift commitment schedules and the default designations. We'll talk in a much more detail later on about gift default designations and gift designations in general. Let's click that button. This is basically saying any gift transaction that will be created, any donation that will be created from this gift commitment will go to that designation. We can add rows, and again, we will talk more about this at a later time. So this is the first thing you want to do. And the second thing we need to do is the manage gift commitment schedules. And when we click this, this is when we start specifying the interval and the period. So we can say that this recurring gift should start on August 9. It should end after a couple of months. We can say that this is like this donor is going to make a donation every month, every 1 month, every 2 months. It's up to you. And then the gift transaction day is which day of the month do we expect the donation to come. So we can say like on the 15th of every, so that's like every 2 months on the 15th day of the month. Let's change this to daily and then set this to 1. So that's like a donation every day, and set the amount to 50. So every gift transaction is going to be 50. We can set a source code. We talked about source codes before, and then we can associate this with a campaign as well. Let's set a payment method to cash. Let's actually do a source code of email effort of the happy campaign. So we know that this campaign, this commitment is associated with these two. Let's confirm and save. Now, after we do these two things, if I actually go ahead and refresh this, this will disappear. That component now disappeared because we already took care of these two steps. Now, if we refresh the upcoming gift transactions, knowing that we created a daily schedule, it's going to show the upcoming gift transactions. Today's date is August 9. So if we refresh this, we're going to start seeing the transactions that we're expecting to see in the next days. So we've got August 10, 11, and so on. If we also go to the related tab, we'll see under gift transactions that one transaction that is dated to August 9 that is expected tomorrow. Tomorrow, another gift transaction gets created, which is August 11, and so on. So the schedule creates only the next upcoming gift transaction, and once that date comes, then another gift transaction gets created, and so on. We could go ahead and update that gift transaction to paid. We're gonna update the status to paid, and when we set the status to paid, we need to specify the paid date. Let's say we already received it. After we do that, if you look at this component, paid or refunded gift transaction, let's refresh this, it's gonna show up here. So any gift transaction that's marked as paid will show up in this component. This is a timeline component. Let's look at the details tab. We have something here called current gift commitment schedule. And if we look at the related tab, we also have gift commitment schedules. This one with an S because that's multiple. This one without an S because it's only one. So that means that we can have multiple schedules, but only one of them is current. And that would happen when someone makes a commitment to make a donation, in this example every day, and then we started receiving these donations on August 10, August 11, August 12, but then on August 13 they were like, the donor reached out and they said that it's difficult for them to commit to that schedule, and they would like to change it. They would like to change it to make a donation every 2 days instead of 1 day. They'd like to make it like $40 instead of $50. To do that, you could click Manage Gift Commitment Schedules again. I'm going to select this schedule, and I'll update this from instead of like one every day, let's change it to every 2 days, and instead of 50, we're going to change it to 40. Every other field we looked at before, the effective start date of the new schedule now. This should start on the 20th. Let's say that we agreed with the donor. Let's start with this updated donation period and interval and amount on the 20th of August. And then you can also populate the update reason, let's say the financial hardship. Let's save this. And what this does now is that we have two schedules here. One of them is starting today, August 9, and then another one that will start on the 20th with different amounts and then different interval. If you look at the one on August 9, the name here, like maybe you don't have to look at the name. Let's look at the one that we have in the current gift schedule. Let me hover on it and look at the start date. It's August 9. So right now it's August 9, but once we hit August 20, then the current gift commitment schedule changes to the other schedule, and then upcoming gift transactions will be created on the basis of the new interval instead. Let's go ahead and create another commitment and look at the other donor commitment type. Let's look at Gary commit and select custom instead, and let's save. We'll do the same thing, do a designation, and then set the gift commitment schedule. When it's custom, you see, we create the gift transaction. So we're gonna create one gift transaction at a time. So we're gonna create 1, 2, 3. We're saying a recurring one happens like every week on the same day. This one doesn't have to be the same day and doesn't have to be the same amount. So we're gonna say like a donor could commit to make a donation on the 12th, and we're gonna set the end date to be the same date. So this is basically the date of the donation that is expected, and that's 50. We can populate the other fields as well if we want to, and then they could make another donation on the 13th, and let's say they are gonna actually make only $20, and then another donation on the 28th, and that's like $30. You see, it's not following a particular interval. It doesn't have a fixed time. That's why it's a custom schedule. Let's go ahead and save. Now, if I refresh this component is going to disappear. And then if I refresh this, we're going to see these 3 transactions that will be created. Let's go to the gift transactions related list here and look at a couple of things. If we were to update a gift transaction to paid, it's going to show up in this component like we looked at before. Let's actually update it to failed instead. This is where we're going to see it. If we make it failed, if we update a gift transaction to failed, then it's going to show up in this component instead. Let's update this to failed and save and refresh this. Now the failed gift transaction shows up here. Now if we were to this component here says paid or refunded. So we looked at paid before. Let's look at refunded. In order to mark a gift transaction as refunded, I'm gonna need to have to mark it as paid first, and then we're gonna have to mark it as refunded. Let's set that we received that it's 13, so let's set this to 13 as well. So this is marked as paid now, and now we want to mark it as refunded. I'm gonna open it in a new page, the transaction itself. If you remember from the gift transaction recording, to mark a gift transaction as refunded, we need to go to the transaction itself, go to the related section, and create a gift refund record. And here we're gonna say, let's say it's a full refund, it's a full amount. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna delete the designation. I'm gonna delete this designation because if we're refunding the full amount, then there is no actual $20 being designated to the general fund. And I think if we do create a gift refund, it's gonna give us an error because it's already designated. Let's get rid of this designation. Now let's create a refund. And let's say it's a full amount. So we're refunding the full amount. What was the date? 13th. I'll say we are refunding them on the 14th. That's okay. Completed. My dates are definitely off, but that's okay. Now, if we go back here and we look at the original amount is 20, the refunded amount is 20, and the current amount is 0, we're gonna need to update this status to fully refunded now. We can go ahead and do that. We could definitely build automations around all of this to save some clicks, but right now this is how it comes out of the box. Let's go back to the commitment. Looking at the related section again and looking at this gift transaction that we mark it as fully refunded. Now looking at this paid or refunded gift transactions, you're gonna see it here. So this is the one on August 13. This is the one on August 13. If you expand it, it's gonna say fully refunded. If we go ahead and mark this one as paid only, paid, completion date, let's forget this. And let's refresh this component. Now we see 2 instead. Let's expand both of them. One of them is paid and the other one is fully refunded. Yes, both of them are green. I don't like that. I hoped that one of them would be yellow. It threw me off, thinking that green means it's paid, but it turns out that all of them will be logged in here. All of them are green. You would have to expand to look at the status of fully refunded. We could customize this component to display the status, this status in here instead of the date, so that we can tell at a glance that this is the case. We could build 2 components instead, and this is fairly easy to do. Have the paid in one component, one timeline, and then the refunded in another timeline. Okay, we looked at all of the components to the right. We looked at the details. There are some additional fields here that we could look at. We looked at the schedules and the gift transactions. We'll talk about the designations in a later video. You could create a gift tribute at the commitment level. We created a tribute at the gift transaction level. So gift transaction is granular. You can do it at the gift commitment as well, saying that this entire commitment is in honor of a particular person. And you can do that and save. So you could associate a tribute with a particular gift transaction or with an entire gift commitment. The last thing we want to look at is a bunch of buttons up top here. So you have upgrade/downgrade. And if you do that, we need to have like an active schedule. It is active. Okay, it needs to be a recurring. We are on a custom one. Let's go to one of the recurring schedules that's active, and upgrade or downgrade. What this is going to do is it's almost identical to manage gift commitment schedules. You can, like, if you click this, it's gonna ask you to select the schedule first. If you click this, it's gonna ask you to select the schedule first, and then you make the changes to the interval and the effective start date and the update reason. That's basically creating a new schedule, so it's almost identical to this button here. We also have pause. You can click pause to pause a schedule. So we are selecting the schedule up top here, and then we can pause from date and then pause till date, and you can specify why we're pausing this schedule. It could be a financial hardship as well. There is also the button of update payment method. You're going to select the schedule, and then you will update the payment method down here, so we can update the payment method of the commitment. And the payment method will be associated with gift transactions. If we actually go to any of those gift transactions that got created as part of this commitment, there is a payment instrument field that's not part of the page. Let's quickly add that, just to be conscious of the fact that this field exists. There might be a need for it to add it. If you don't have to look at it, you can ignore it for now. There will be a time that it will be beneficial to look at that field. It's called instrument, payment instrument. And a payment instrument is meant when there is one payment method that's shared with between multiple gift transactions. So at the gift commitment level, we will say that I'm gonna have to clear the cache for this to show up, or just like log out and log in again, or just wait a little bit and then it will actually show up. Let's go to gift transactions. So this is the payment instrument field. Let's go to a gift commitment, look at the related lists, go to one of these gift transactions, and we have the payment instrument here. So if we look at this payment instrument, it's gonna say what the payment method is, and the difference between this one, so it's gonna tell you can specify things like the type, credit card or PayPal, the last 4 digits, the bank information down here, the expiry date and whatnot. And this payment instrument, if it is shared between multiple gift transactions, then you could create that. If you would rather like set the payment method at the gift transaction level without having to specify the payment instrument, you could do that. But then the payment method field is specific to one particular gift transaction. The payment instrument is shared between multiple gift transactions. So when we set the payment method, at the commitment level, every gift transaction that gets created as part of the gift commitment will have the same payment instrument. We also have the update dates button, which just updates the dates of the schedule. And we have close gift commitment, just asking you to confirm that you're ready to close this, and then it updates the unpaid transactions as canceled or written off. These are this is everything related to campaigns.